All right, shalom, Lord in Christ. Give us 1 second while we set this up right now. If it's all good, I hope you can hear me and everything is good here. About to start a show, so 1 second here as we start. Okay. Make sure everything is set here. Welcome everybody to the show that's on YouTube. Don't forget, we're here every Wednesday with the Inconvenient Truth, and we are here to bring out the truth for Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Make sure that you stay on our classes. ISUPK California, ISUPK California, ISUPK. Second here.
As many as 400,000 Mexican immigrants were rounded up and sent back to Mexico.
Okay, that's a good topic. Are we still live? Okay, we got 1 minute in and setting up here. So give us 1 second as we begin the show. ISUPK, the Inconvenient Truth. As always, we're here to bring you the best of the knowledge of the ISUPK, Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And we are here, of course, every Wednesday. Y estamos aquí para servirles, ¿verdad? Vamos a ponerle una descripción. People go Black, Hispanics. Hispanic, Native American Indians. So the title of the show today, I'm going to thank everybody for watching. And I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to try to bring it up one more time. But we're going to start off the bat, okay? Let's see what we can do here. Turn this around. All right. We're about to go live here. Okay. So hopefully we can watch this. We got 2 of them coming up here. If you can see me, I can see you. Right? The Inconvenient Truth. To what everybody who's tuning in. And just give me 1 second here. Getting started just now. Usually at 8 o'clock, but I'm getting a little jump here. And I want to thank everybody for joining me. This truth is going to be heavy today because I'm going to speak on something that everybody forgot. Or at least people are trying to put behind, right? But we're not. We're going to go ahead and we're going to show this. The video that I posted up earlier, I'm pretty sure everybody saw it. It's a little clip that I made. It's, of course, about the end of the world, right? And why not? Let's show it one more time, right? For everybody who's going to watch the show today. See if it comes up here, okay? Here we go. And I'm gonna let you know why I put that video up. Put that video up because it's important for us to understand that we are living at the end of this time, right? Of their time, of the time of Esau. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to check it out. Just the reason I didn't show a clip today, or I didn't show those video clips today of the ones I usually do, is because I want everybody to know that they've been talking about the internet, changing things on the internet. So this is kind of like a heads up to everybody, everybody watching, everybody who joins in, everybody who watches, that it's time for us to find other mediums to transmit on. Remember that I'm also on YouTube. It's the Inconvenient Truth, Kazakh Yad. You can go on to YouTube Kazakh Yad, and of course it'll be the Inconvenient Truth. It's my alternate website that you can log onto in case something goes with this one. You can always continue watching on the YouTube, or vice versa. If you're on my YouTube and I just so happen to go off for some reason, they cut me off of YouTube, you could always come onto the Facebook, which is also Kazakh Yad, and it's also the Inconvenient Truth, but you can find me on the Kazakh Yad. So it's you can find me on either or. You can find me one or the other. I'm also transmitting on the Res for Chicago. Don't forget the Res. I'm also transmitting there. I'm trying to get it on right now. I'm having some issues getting on. It's not always a smooth ride, but if I miss it now, I'll make sure to put it up on my next one. But I am having some issues getting on the Res. My technical guy is not here, and I'm having some difficulties getting it on. But like I said, if I log off of here, I'm going on live. I'm on it right now on YouTube, Kazakh Yad YouTube, so you can find me there. So either or, you can jump on one or the other and find me there, and I'll make sure to still trying to get on the Res. I'm going to do the best to get on that, and you can find me there too. Also, I've got some other alternate ones that are coming up where you can also log in there. But with that, Most High in Christ, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah, for everybody joining in and watching the show. Once again, this is the Inconvenient Truth. I am Kazakh Yad 5000 out of California. ISUPK coming out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York City, coming out here every Wednesday to bring this class to you, the Inconvenient Truth. And it's exactly that, an inconvenient truth. Not everybody wants to hear what we got to say. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I'm going to begin this class. The water, everybody, for watching, for tuning in, share my class, log in, definitely, subscribe to my channel, YouTube, for we can start getting that channel started likewise. So today is going to be a heavy class. I'm going to go into a very heavy topic that we bring out. And it is, we are living at the end times as well. What we say the end times, right? We don't call it the end times. The ISUPK, we call it the beginning of what's about to happen. Israel's about to come together. We are about to wake up. The Lord's about to come back, and he's taking his people, which is everybody who watches this show, everybody who's in the UPK, everybody who logs on, stays with us, and Most High in Christ, for everybody out there who participates and is part of the ISUPK and everything that we do. Share this video, get us in there, get people to watch. Let's call on our brothers. What did they say? Save your brother, right? Save our brother. Let's save our brothers, because that's important that we call on our brothers and we bring them into this truth. No matter where we come from, most of us, of course, we're all Black and Hispanics in this truth, so that's the important part of it. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out where it is that Salakia. For some reason. Continue. Salakia. Okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna see the comments today, right? You got your, yeah. The comments are coming up. For some reason, I don't see any of the comments coming up. I don't see anything. So just getting it straight here. Okay, so let me put this down then, because I'm not gonna have no comments. Don't get to see it, but man, for all the brothers and sisters logging in, the water for watching. Let me see if I can jump onto this one, and I can see them through here. But yeah, most importantly, like, we're gonna address the fact of we are living in a strange times. A lot of us are seeing this whole coronavirus. It's up in the air. Everybody's talking about it. everybody's talking about the coronavirus and what's going on and how it's affecting everybody. People are getting sick, people are dying. Yeah, we know the whole story. We know how it's going. For us, it's a sad thing. A lot of us have family members that are going through this also. The Lord's going to be with us. Remember, we're with the Lord, and the Lord's going to be with us, and He's going to protect us from all that.
Living in the strange times,
Okay, let me get this.
A lot of us are seeing this whole coronavirus. It's up in the air. Everybody's
give me 1 second here. Let me try to get this
coronavirus and what's going on.
my volume real quick. There we go. All right. So let me go back to it. So we're seeing this coronavirus, man. Tawala, the water brother for watching. Sabian, Salina Mendoza, pésame pa lo que te pasó, sister, Vanessa de Leon, Zagban Yahawada, Quataza, Amataza, Shalom Amataza, all the brothers in Arizona. So I'm watching it already. I already got it. Mataza, Napash, Shakawaya, Zara Y, Shalom, Karnal, Mosa in Christ, the water for watching. So we're gonna go into this right now. Let's go straight to the point. We're about to break this down, and it is this. It's that we're seeing the coronavirus, right? We're watching what's going on. We're watching what's happening. We're watching how things are boiling up around the world, not only with us but everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Sabian says they're already going door to door with the military. You know what? They're gonna do that. They're gonna go out door to door. They're gonna find us. They're gonna try to do whatever they do, right? But we're with the Lord, and what I'm about to bring out, or what I'm about to talk about, is going to show you how it's going to separate us from what's happening to them. Because you got to remember, even though there's all these conspiracy theories, even though there's all these things going on, and the 5G and the 6G and G money and everything out there, whatever it may be, the Lord is with us, and the Lord has protection for us. The Lord says, what is that? No weapon formed against me, right, shall prosper. That's what the Lord says. No weapon formed against us is going to prosper. They can bring a G5, a G6, a G money, G whoever, gangster, whatever. They can bring them all on. But at this point in the history of the Lord's time, this is our time. This is when Israel will wake up. There is a precept, which is a prophecy that reads that when Israel wakes up and remembers who they are in the land. You got that one? Oh, and calls me by my name, then he will hear us, right? And then he'll come back. So we're already counting that the Lord is gonna hear us, that he's gonna come back, that we're woken up, all of us. No matter what we were in, whether you were gangbanging, whether you were hustling and slinging, or you were whatever you were doing, it didn't matter. When you came into this truth, you became a new person. You became a new man. You're that new homie. You're that man that has woken up to understand that there is a higher power. Let me tell you something. There is no difference. When you were banging, you still believed in the Lord. You still knew there was a God. You still knew that the Most High was part of your life. Your mama used to tell you all the time, encomendate a Diosito. No? You had the Virgin Mary painted on your back, or you had, if you were like me, you grew up and you used to go to the swap meet and get that Virgin Mary ironed on your shirt, and then get those old English velvet letters on that shirt with your name on it. But you had the Virgin Mary there, like that. That's a Hispanic culture right there. That's something essays used to do. Get your sweater, get your shirt or whatever. Hey, Shalom, Lord in Christ. Get your sweater, get your shirt, get whatever, your hoodie, and you put your name on it. You put the Christ on it. You put the Virgen Maria, and especially if you're Hispanic, you would put the Virgin Mary on it. That's our symbol. And not because we believed in the Virgin Mary so much, but really because we are people who know that there is a higher power, a Lord that watches over us, that there is a God. And we know who the Virgin Mary is the mother of God to us. You ask a Mexican, hey, La Virgen Maria, oh, that's the mother of God. They don't even say like Jesus' mother, but they'll call her the mother of God. So we all know what Hispanics, or what we do. We love the Lord. Like, you'll go to jail, brother, and you'll love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? you're gonna go out and gangbang, and you know what? The Lord is with me. You wear a cross, you know, you got that Jesus on your tattoo. Your lowrider has a Virgin Mary on it. I mentioned that before. Your homeboys are gonna go. They're gonna go do a mural. They're muralists. They're gonna go do a mural. They're gonna put a mural up of the Lord. Shalom, Captain Quam. Most High in Christ, to Captain Quam. All good with him, and Lord be with you, sir. And hope to see you real soon. So you know the Virgin Mary. So to us, it's really that we have an honor for the Most High, and anything that has to do with it. The reason we love saints is because we believe they come from the Most High. The reason we love, por qué nos persinamos, the cross thing that your grandma does to you, your mom does, because we believe in the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Why do we go to that Sunday church? Because we believe in the Lord. Now we were tricked and we're worshiping the wrong Lord, but in our hearts, we here thinking, man, I'm worshiping the Lord. I'm worshiping God. You know, my mom gets sick, man, I'm calling on the Lord to help her. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. I'm calling on the Most High that He helps my mom out. That you know, you're gonna go get a job, carnal. You know, you're gonna go get a job. Lord be with me. I'm gonna get this job. Please, God, help me get this job. You know, que la Virgencita me ayude. Oh yeah, that's the way we're raising our children to believe in the Lord. Now we're doing it in the wrong way, but in a sense, we have a love for the Lord. In our culture, the Hispanic culture is just filled with a Most High spirit. You know, everything we do is because of that. Is because we believe in the Lord. Now we've been tricked, and we're going the wrong way, and we're not worshiping correctly. So like, yeah, I'll take it. You know, we're not worshiping correctly, but what I'm getting at is that in our spirit, we believe in the Lord. And let me tell you something, our ancestors, the Mexica, Chichimecas, the Toltecs, the Mayas, they also believed in the Most High. They believed in the Lord also. They had a strong belief in a power above all power. And you know, the Spaniard came and gave all these stories. Shalom, carnal, shalom, Guerrero. You know, they came with all these stories and changed us, and they made us look like we were savages, that we were what do they call that? Cannibals, that we were cannibals, that we sacrificed our children, that we worship, you know, these entities. But what we were really seeing, if you really know the story of Mexico and the indigenous, we worshiped anything that had power. You know, like rain is a power. So we saw it as, you know, the Lord give us rain, give us this power that our crops may grow. You know, unfortunately, we go in the wrong direction with that. Now we're thinking that we thought they were gods. You know, oh, there was a god of this. That's a Greek mythology. Greeks believed in gods. Us, the Mayans, the Aztecs, and all of our people, we believe that there was a higher God. Our God above all gods was Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan. And that was a man that walked the earth. He was a man who built cities. Quetzalcoatl built the city of the Toltecs. Quetzalcoatl built the city of the El Salvador, which was Cuscatlan. He built these cities. He made these cities, you know, flourish. He was a king, you know, and this man made it happen. Before him, there was a story that came with him. The story of the Popol Vuh. You start reading these stories, you begin to understand. They understood the Bible. They understood the works of the Most High. Their Bible, the Popol Vuh for the Mayans, has the story of creation, the water, darkness, the spirit roaming over the earth. They have the story of Moses, the man who parted the sea and walked his people from a place of captivity across the rocks, it says, and bring them into a new place. It has that story. It has the story of the working of the land. It has the story of the multiplying of their people. All these stories are found in an ancient book in Central America known as the Popol Vuh. So our people understood where we came from, this spirit. And what I'm getting at is that this spirit has always been with Latin American people or Hispanic people or indigenous people, whatever category you want to put them in. But we've always known that this has always been that. You know what I'm saying? God of War, this book is called the Popol Vuh. if we get a chance, I'll make sure that in the end I'll put up that and you know what? VHU. There it is, brother. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a like it. Is You'll find it. It's actually VUH. There it is. So that's the book. So, anyways, you start reading these books, you begin to understand. Once you begin to understand, remember, the one who's telling the story of Latin America are the Spaniards who conquered it. It's people like Cortez. It's people like Bartolomé de las Casas. It's people like these conquerors that are beginning to tell you my story, and they're Spaniards. It's kind of like those people that talk about black slavery. Now they're trying to say that it wasn't slavery, that it was people who came to work. Well, 20 years, 100 years, 50 years from now, people are going to be educated in thinking, well, there was no slaves. These people came as migrant workers to America. This is what's happening to the history of our people. They're going to look at Native American Indians like they gave away their land. You know, they just gave it to these people. But in reality, what's happening here is that there's being a change in history, and we're taking that change, and now we're miseducated, colonized. And it's time to decolonize our mind and begin to think the way our people used. Man, our people were, and I'm talking about Latin America, right? Because, you know, I'm focused on the Latin America, but all of us, Native Americans, blacks, we were intelligent people beyond their intelligence of these people. We knew how to grow. We knew how to live through winters, live through the seasons. We knew how to grow food. We knew how to raise thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people on a partial part of land, Tenochtitlan. You know, and we survived through everything. We bring fresh water from the mountains. You know, we had baths. We told time. You know, today the Aztec calendar, the Mayan calendar, is the closest thing to time there is. Even our time, our Gregorian time today, which is the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is based on Mayan time. You know, so let me tell you something. We were super intelligent people, and why? Because we had a close relationship to the Lord. We are spiritual people. We believe in the Most High. And so now we come here to America, and we are still the same people. 500, 600, 800 years later, we still believe in this higher power. We still believe in the Lord. No matter if you're in jail, no matter if you're in the cell, no matter if you're incarcerated, no matter if you're in the hole, no matter if you're on the streets, no matter if you're at your job, man, we have a love for the Lord that we seek all the time. And our parents and our grandparents and our families are the same. Mexicans ain't atheists. These are the new people that are coming out with this, oh, there is no God. There's science, but even science believes there's a God. They know there's a higher source. So that's why it brings us to the topic of today, the end of the world. Whose world? Well, that's Esau's world that's coming to an end. Because once again, the Lord said, when we wake up in the land of our captivity and we remember who we are, the Lord will hear us. You know, when we call him by his name, the Lord will hear us. Right, you got it? Okay, go ahead.
I think this is one. It's Baruch 2, chapter 2, verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves.
Right. And I'm going to stop it right there. We'll remember ourselves. So I'm going to tell you something right here in this household. And my brothers that come here, all my brothers, we've remembered ourselves. We now remember that we're not Mexicanos. We're not Salvadoreños. We're not Guatemaltecos. We're not, African Americans. We're not Indians. We know what we are. We're Hebrew. We're Hebrew right. Israelites. We remember that we are a special people above all nations of the world. Now we understand. Now we know who we are. And now we know that this is our time coming up. Go ahead.
There's more on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord.
And so that's what's happening to us today. Today we're remembering who we are. Now we remember, what is that precept?
It's Baruch 2:30.
Baruch 2:30, and I believe you'll find that in the Apocrypha.
Right.
That's where you'll find it, the book of Baruch in the Apocrypha. And it's telling you that now we're going to remember who we are. Now we're going to remember the Lord, and we're going to think about the Lord. You know how you know we think about the Lord? Because we no longer eat shrimp.
Right.
We no longer eat lobster. We no longer out poisoning our brothers with drugs.
Right.
We're no longer thinking about going and retaliating on your own Hispanic brother because he's from a different clique or a different gang or a different barrio. You no longer have that mentality. You're no longer thinking of killing your brother because he's a blood or a crip or a cuz or because he's wearing a certain color. You're no longer thinking about that because now you're thinking of the Lord. Now you're thinking how you're going to serve him even better.
Right.
Now you're thinking I'm going to have honor and I'm going to humble myself. Now you ain't thinking of starting stuff with your brother. Now you're thinking of, you know what, uniting with your brother. Now you're thinking that black brother is that's exactly what he is. He's my brother. That's right. Now you've dropped that whole negros, niggas, and mayates, and whatever other name you used to use, chanates, right? Right, all those words. I'm not going to go on because then I'm going to sound racist. But you know, when we start thinking about how we used to address these brothers, now you ain't going to do that no more because now you know these are your true brothers. And how do you know that you're true brothers? Because when you come into this truth and you serve the Lord, you forget about all that. Now your mind is one straight mind. No time to think about what you used to do. Man, there's no time to think about those brothers in the world anymore.
Right.
You can't think about those brothers locked up because those brothers that are locked up, unless you're trying to help them, they're not trying to be helped, man.
Right.
They're trying to bang. They're trying to hold up the hood. They're trying to keep that whole mentality alive. They're trying to teach their kids to be like that. They're trying to act hard in front of the youngins. But you know what? We don't have time for that no more. That was then. This is now. And the thing is that you used to be part of that group. I used to be part of that group. And the Lord chose me out of that group. Go ahead.
I got one whenever you're ready.
Okay, so think about this. When you think about that group that we're talking about, all your blood and crip friends, all your homie friends, all the homies in the pinta, all the homies in your hood. Think about this. How many of those homies in the hood are with you today in this truth?
Right.
How many of those brothers of bloods and crips are in this truth with you today? There's very few. They're counted those that are going to follow you into this truth because the Lord doesn't call on anybody. He calls on that special person. He chooses you above everybody else. You did not choose the Lord chose you. And now you have to honor that choice that he's made because the Lord has believed in you. 1 of John, the Lord said, you have not chosen me, I have chosen you. So what, are you going to let the Lord down? I believe in the Lord, but I'm about to let him down because I'm in this truth and I'm not going to follow this truth. I care more about my brothers, the hood, the brothers in the pen than I do the Lord. Is that so? Then you're not cut out for this. If you got more love for the crip, for the blood, for the homies, then you don't have no love for the Lord. Because this one here, the Lord's called you. He's pointed at you and said, that one right there, that brother right there is about to serve me. And he's about to bring this truth. And when we allow ourselves to be captivated or taken away by other brothers out in the world, then that just shows the weakness that we really have. That's not us. That's that weakness. Go ahead, give me that precept.
So this is Ephesians 4:22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. Verse 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness.
So go to the top again, for I can break it down.
Verse 22, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man.
So you got to break off from that former conversation. Think about what your former conversation was. What was it? How much you pushing? What was it? How many homies you gonna sell to? What was it? Where you homies gonna go hang out today? What was that former conversation? What was that you used to have in your heart all the time? You got a wife, you got a kid, but you're gonna go hang out with the homies. You got a wife, you got a kid, but you know what? Most importantly, that I go out to the corner because the brothers out there playing basketball, and I'm about to go out there, smoke weed and drink and hang out with them. You know, one of those fools is talking about carrying a piece. You know, he's talking about his madness. You go out there to the madness of the world because that's what the homies do. In our group, everybody has a different mentality. And what is everybody trying to do? Everybody's just trying to impress everybody else with what they do. That's why we got to leave that former us and grasp onto this new one. Continue.
Which is corrupt.
And which is what?
Which is corrupt.
That's a corrupt life, man. That hanging out with those Bloods and Crips and hanging out with your old homies and doing that old stuff, that's corrupt. You know what corrupt means? Corrupt means broken up. It's not right. It's a poison. It's corrupted. Go ahead.
According to the deceitful lust.
According to a deceitful lust. What is lust? You could lust for anything. You could lust for money. You could lust for fame. You could lust for, just getting attention. That's a lust right there that overcomes us. That's that lust. Anything could be your lust. Go ahead.
And be renewed.
And be what?
Renewed.
Man, it's time to renew ourselves. This is the end. That's why I said at the beginning, this is the end of that world. The end of your world. The end of that world that you used to live in. It's the end of that time. It had just started a new time now. We're starting a new world, a new way. And that one is to prepare us for the Most High. Go ahead.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
And be renewed in the spirit of our minds. And that's a perfect precept to understand that what are our spirits? Well, what is the spirit that we have? Well, first of all, like I said, we seek the Lord in everything we do. Any problems that we have, anything that we address ourselves with, we seek the Lord. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Like which homie doesn't go and put on a new shirt and put on that gold chain cross or that Jesus piece? You know what I'm saying? Because that's our spirit right there. That's something that, what comes out naturally. Like you're not even thinking about that. You just know that that's what you're gonna do. You're about to put on that piece. You know what I'm saying? Go on.
Right. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which the Most High which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness.
So that's the new man that we put on. One that's righteous and holy, separate. Right. Holy is separate. Holy, man, separate from all that. You're a new man, separated from all those homies, separated from all your Crip and your Blood and your homies that you hung out with, separated from. Now you got new brothers, and the new people that you're surrounding yourself with, we all like-minded. Right. We all soldiers who know that we're here to serve the Most High. That's what we're here to do. We're not over here thinking, who we're gonna get today, or who we're gonna bag snatch today, or where we're gonna go sell today, or does that homeboy have work for me? We ain't thinking that no more. Now we're thinking we're gonna serve the Lord. Go ahead.
Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another.
And that's what it is. We no longer lie. We no longer engage in that. What is that? Conversation. We're no longer those people. We're a new man, a new breed. We're new people, and we are the ones that are going to serve the Lord, because that's what we're here for. And this is why I said it's the end of the world, man. It's the end of Esau's world, But you got to understand, it's the end of your world also. It's becoming the end of that world that you used to know. The world of banging is over. The world of cripping and blood and all that is over. The world of going out and, writing on the walls and tagging and, whatever it is you did, hustling, you got jale or whatever, that world is over. That's no longer part of your world. The world of hanging out with the homies and going down to the mariscos and eating shrimp and cócteles de camarón and pisteando, that's over. You can still do that, but you ain't gonna do it like that no more. Now you're gonna set yourself straight, and you are gonna get into this new you, this new body, this new man, this new soul, and you're gonna make sure that this one here is gonna push forward. Go ahead, give me that.
The second Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world,
Right.
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right.
And that's us. It's the end of Esau's world, and it's about to be the beginning of our world. But before we can come into this world, before we can come into this new world that we're about to be part of, we have to clean ourselves.
Right.
We got to change ourselves. We got to be like a snake, bro, and take that old skin off and come in new.
Right.
We got to come in as a new man. And the way you come into a new man is by right here, the Bible, by going into this precepts, hearing the classes, ISUPK. You know what? Cling on to your brothers, because your brothers are going to help you through this. You're not going to get no help out of this, man. Your brothers in the pen, your brothers in the hood, your brothers on the street, man, they are not going to get you where you're going, because they don't know this right here. This is the new world right here. When you open that book, you got to understand that's the guide to the new world. And what's in that, you have to follow. And those brothers above you, those captains, those generals, everybody out there, man, them soldiers are the ones that are going to help you get right. And that's what you need, man, because we sick. We sick, and we're infected with the virus of America and the teachings of the Spaniards and every other nation that has touched our generations. And with that infection, we've infected our children and our people. And now we have to pay back this due. And that is to wake up and do this work and get yourself right. And each one of us as an individual has got to take on the task of doing this work. You got to do it. You cannot put it off. There can be nothing that can set you back from doing this work, because that's what the Lord has put you to do.
Right.
Because that's what it is. That's why you came in here. That's why you got a name. That's why you believed in the Lord, because the Lord called you. And now you have to do this work. America is going to be destroyed for the crimes it committed on the Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And us in the UPK, we're the soldiers that are going to help raise these people, raise the dead. The Lord said He's going to give us He's going to give us the gift to raise the dead. Isn't that what it says? The power to raise the dead. We're going to have the power to raise the dead, and that's exactly what we're doing. But let me tell you something. If you were gangbanging and you went to jail and you were going to get a stretch, and the Lord let you out a little bit early, and then you ended up here in the ISUPK, because the Lord bring you back to life. And you met a brother who told you about it and he got you, man, that brother had the gift of giving you life. He brought you back from the dead, and now you have the opportunity to live. And let me tell you why the Lord is doing this. The Lord is waking us up, Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, in this truth, because He's about to destroy America. Because He's about to bring this country to its knees. That video that I put up, that little clip that you saw, is a perfect example of what's about to happen to America. Commanding General Yohana said it perfectly. See all these buildings, see all these skyscrapers, see all of this? The Lord's about to bring it down and make it to rubble. And that's what's about to happen to America. This coronavirus, man, you shouldn't even fear the coronavirus, because if you make it past this coronavirus, well, guess what? There's something else coming right behind it.
Right.
The Lord has been preparing to destroy this place, and it looks like He's about to do this. There's a perfectly good example, and you guys are going to bring it out on Exodus and that is it's the plagues right before the Passover. The plagues right before the Passover. I had it out here, but let me see. So right before when Moses was pleading with Pharaoh to let his people go. Isn't that what Moses was doing? Moses went to Pharaoh and he pleaded, let my people go. The Lord told Moses, Moses, go and talk to Pharaoh and tell him to let go of my people. Moses was like, well, man, why do I got to do this? Moses was still thinking of going and hanging out with his homies, right? Well, in a sense. But Moses knew that he had to do this work. Moses was chosen by the Lord. Did the Lord choose? Did Moses choose God? No. God chose Moses to do this work. Same way today, he's chosen you to do this work. You are the Moses of today. Go ahead.
All right, there's Exodus 9 and 13. And the Most High said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and say unto him, thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart and upon thy servants and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. Right. For now I will stretch out mine hand, like, go ahead, that I might smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth.
So the Lord told Moses to go tell that to Pharaoh. And give me where Jesus talking about when they asked Jesus, what are the signs of the end of times? So so the Lord tells Moses to go and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. This is before the Passover. So all of the pestilence, all of the diseases, all the curses that came on Egypt were before the Passover. These were all happening at a time when the Lord was about to destroy Egypt. But before he did that, he had Moses go and plead and ask the Pharaoh, man, let my people go. You know what I'm saying? And our people were dying. Our people were dying in Egypt. Now, you know, you don't hear the full story of what really happened in Egypt. But I could imagine that the way the Egyptians were with the Hebrew Israelites is probably no different than the way America is with Black Hispanics and Native American Indians. I'm pretty sure that the reason why the Lord asked Pharaoh to let go of his people is because that captivity must have been hell for them. Right. The Lord must have seen the way his people were being treated, that it was like, man, do you think the Lord would have said, free my people, if Egypt would have been treating them right? Of course not. If Pharaoh and them would have been treating Hebrew Israelites correctly, the Lord would have had no need to say, well, free my people. But obviously, they were living in a condition of being in hell, probably being beaten. And I'll tell you, I'm going to show you the condition that the Hebrew Israelites were living at in Egypt. And it's very simple. I know we all heard about, let's see.
Want that?
Yeah, give me that first. Go ahead.
Exodus 2 and 11?
Exodus 2 and 11.
The Egyptians fighting in Hebrew?
That's the one.
All right. Exodus 2 and 11. And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew.
He what?
And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew.
He spied on LAPD beating the hell out of Rodney King. That's what he saw. He saw Egyptian soldiers, Egyptian servants or Egyptians that were high ranking in those times, probably officers of some sort, beating Israelites to a pulp, the way Rodney King was beaten to a pulp, the way Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri was beaten to a pulp. The way Trayvon Martin was killed in the hands of a white police officer. The way Eric Gardner was choked to death for selling a box of cigarettes. The way Sandra Bland was killed in the cell in the hands of white police officers. This is what he encountered when he went out there and saw how they treated his people. So much that when he saw this, it moved him. Isn't that right? Continue reading.
And he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
He what?
He slew the Egyptian.
Let me tell you something. Why did he kill that Egyptian? Because he had never seen anybody treat his people like that. He must have seen it, that it was something that moved him so much that he couldn't believe what he was seeing.
Right.
Mr. Narlee, I'll tell you who I am. I'm that man who speaks for Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, like some of you Black people won't.
Right.
I'm that Hispanic that speaks more than some of you do. Some Hispanics do. Some Native American Indians do. Some of you Black people do. Shamefully, you're that one that carries the sign that, well, you should have surrendered. You should have been, more non-aggressive. But Moses saw that, and Moses knew that what was happening to his people, which were Black people, should not have been happening. And he turned against him. And he did what?
He slew the Egyptian.
He slew the Egyptian. You know why he slew? He killed him because he couldn't believe what was happening. Let me tell you something. When I seen what was happening to Michael Brown, I probably would have done like Moses did. When I seen what they did to Trayvon Martin, if I'd have been there, I probably would have done the same damn thing. And when I see brothers on the internet getting beat by police officers, that feeling that overcame Moses overcomes me. And I'm pretty sure it overcomes a lot of brothers. But there's that brother who has the camera, who will stay there and film it, but won't move a muscle to help.
Right.
Those are the cowards. Those are the ones that are asking, well, why is he speaking like that? Or who is he to say that? Or who is that guy talking like that? And then they would rather begin to say stupidities than to say, you know what? I'm glad there's someone speaking for my people. Something that I couldn't do. Something that I don't do. Something that I'm too coward to even speak up to. But not us. Here in the ISUPK, we're going to get trained to speak up for our people. That's why the Lord has chosen me and not some of you. Because some of you, the Lord knows you're just a coward.
Right.
And that you'll never speak up for your people. Or you'll never say anything about your people. Or even stand there to defend them. You'll take a camera and film and laugh about it. And post it. That's what you'll do. That's your heart. But Moses was angry at what was happening to his people. Moses was taken to the point where he slew, he killed, he murdered an Egyptian. Go on and read because we'll get to that part. Go ahead.
And he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? Verse 14. And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killed the Egyptian?
And that's who that brother is right there. That's who those brothers are. The ones that are just like that Israelite right there, who saw Moses do that and said, well, man, who are you to kill that brother? What, are you going to kill me now? Because instead of that brother saying, man, I saw that you killed that Egyptian for killing my brother, and I'm glad you did that. No, man, that brother said, whoa, now you're going to kill me? Instead of helping, you mock. Instead of being part of the solution, you become part of the problem. You're a mocker just like our oppressor is. You'll mock us instead of helping us. Instead of doing something correctly, you'll come and you'll mock those that are trying to make a difference. Go ahead, brother.
That's that Christianity.
That's Christianity. Khan, absolutely. You know what? A Christian, go back to your Christianity. They love you because you love everybody. But Moses knew better. Moses, when the Lord called on Moses, he knew that the spirit of Moses was that of a warrior, of a soldier, of a man that was going to do whatever it took to save his people. And today, that's the way Egypt is in America.
Right.
That's America today. Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, Black Lives Matter. Why Black Lives Matter? Because America is tired of being destroyed. Black America is tired of being destroyed by the white America.
Right.
Because the black people, the Negro in America has decided, man, you're just killing us in numbers. Black Lives Matter. But what is it? I can't breathe. Right? I can't breathe. Black Lives Matter. What is that? Say her name. Right? Isn't that for Sandra Bland? Was that say her name?
Yeah, so then on Salak, if I made sure there's also hands up, don't shoot.
Hands up, don't shoot. This is the call of Israel in America today, really calling on the Lord that he might hear them, because white America don't hear you. America does not hear your plea. America is not, don't give it. When they said Black Lives Matter, they answered with Blue Lives Matter.
Right.
When they said I can't breathe, they said I can breathe.
Right.
That's the answer of America to Black America. That's their answer to you. They don't care about you. They don't care about you or anything that happens to you. And let me tell you something. Black America, Hispanic America, Native American, Indian America, we all the same.
Right.
We're all going through
Right.
the same injustice here in our captivity. We're being held captives in America, and we would rather mock each other than help each other. And that's why America has got to burn to the ground, because it's time that the Lord hears us. And how is he going to hear us? He's hearing us because so far we've been calling out and calling out and calling out, and there's been no answer. But the Lord has been hearing us, and the Lord has woken us up in 1969. And Commanding General Yohana has picked up that sword and has helped wake up Israel, that we might call on the Lord and remember who we are.
Right.
And that's what's happening today. And today, Black lives, Hispanic lives, and Native American Indian lives are about to matter.
Right.
Right.
That's about to matter to the Lord. We're about to become important, and the Lord is going to help us. And you know what? He's going to choose a few of us to do this work. Man, I'm honored to be chosen to do this work. And I'm sure my brothers around me also do this with honor. We've humbled ourselves and done this work that we might call out to our people, that they might hear us and wake up. If you're Hispanic, what are you doing outside of the UPK, man? You should be in here with us doing this work. If you Black, man, you need to be in this and doing this work. If you're Native American Indian, Black Native American Indian, or a red Native or brown Native American Indian, you should be in here doing this work. This is where it's at. This is what we need to be doing, because the Lord is about to bring America to its knees. And that's why we need to be doing this, because the Lord is calling us to do this. And let me tell you something. Sandra Bland and Trayvon Martin are the perfect examples of why the Lord is coming back. This is why the Lord has got to come and destroy this place, because of what they've done to our brothers and sisters. And you know what? It's important that we understand that this work that's about to be done is about to be done because the Lord is calling it to be done.
Right.
Trayvon Martin, man, they should have never been, there should have never been a Trayvon Martin. They're talking about, we've been marching forever, talking about don't kill us, don't shoot us. But have you forgotten that they've been doing this since the 1940s, since the 1930s, since you were slaves? They've been killing your people. They've been killing Blacks in America and haven't gave a damn about it. But the Lord has cared. The Lord has heard all your people dying in the streets. He heard all your people walking out and marching, that you don't get shot in the street no more. Hispanics too. This is no different. Right. I could show you where Hispanics used to walk the streets of East LA with sign that says, "Stop the genocide of Hispanics on the streets of America." Because we were the ones dying in numbers back then. We were the target for white America. Go ahead, brother.
It's a lot. After that, I don't want to. That brother that died in Texas that got choked out by by the husband and wife from John Hernandez, right?
John Hernandez, exactly, absolutely. And that's why it's time that we wake up to this, and it's time that we join this. This is that revolution you need to join. Not no marches in the corner, not no marches on May Day. Those marches are useless in America today. That Egyptian, because things like this, Sandra Bland, was happening in the times of Moses. Trayvon Martin was happening in the times of Moses. Rodney King was happening in the times of Moses. And in the year 2000, we began to see how that has not changed at all. And you know what? The Lord I don't want to say it, but the Lord has a plan. And I wouldn't be surprised that the deaths of these people are in the Lord's plans. I wouldn't be surprised if this is what it takes to wake up a people, because obviously everything else that you've done, everything else that has happened has not woken up America. You out here marching side by side with these people that hate you. You prefer to march in and rally with these people that, you know what? They've never cared for you, man. They have never had anything that slightly resembles what you've gone through. They've not gone through what you've gone through. These people will never go through what you went through. Understand that. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that the white America will never go through. Look, you'll never see this in white America. That is something that is not seen in this place. But you know what? We see it every day in the Black community. We see it every day in the Hispanic community. Today, they still got our children locked up in the detention centers. You know what I'm saying? And they're dying from malnutrition. They're dying from lack of medicine. They're dying from lack of care, and they're being separated from their families. Isn't that what happened in Egypt? You don't think that the Egyptians were doing that to the Israelites when they were being held in Egypt also? How many of them do you think they used to probably rape our women, right? Kill the husbands? That's what they did when they came here to America. So let me tell you something. The Lord has heard it. The Lord has seen this is coming. And now the Lord is preparing that. And today, this virus that has come on America is the virus that you see in the book. Did you find that one of the viruses before the Exodus? Before the Passover. Did you get it? Right before the Passover. I'm going to show you this. This is what happened before the Passover came. The Lord sent all these plagues and all these things to Egypt because of what they were doing. America has been sent plagues. America has been sent earthquakes. America has been sent all these things. There's a phenomenon, right, of heroin in America. Heroin addicts all over America. It's a phenomenon that you don't hear about it because you know what? America doesn't want the world to hear that they have a heroin addict problem. They don't want that. They don't want you to see what is that place in Philadelphia they were showing us yesterday? Man, there's this place in Philly where it's just heroin addicts, man, on the streets everywhere. I can't think of the name of the spot, but one of the brothers showed me. But it's ridiculous. People on the streets shooting up in the middle of the daytime, all over the streets of this city on heroin. Did you find it?
Want the logos?
It's actually at the end where he says that he calls his people in after he sends all these plagues. But you can start at the locusts. Go ahead.
It's Exodus 10 and 13. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt. And the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coast of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there was no such locust as they, neither after them shall be such.
Okay, hang on. You got that post you put up, Ashkawar, of the locust? Give me that. The locust. It's today what they're seeing of locusts. They say they haven't seen it in a long time. That whole thing of the locust that was brought on to Egypt seems to be a problem in Europe today. As we're seeing Europe is having a problem that's and I'm about to read it. That's about to it's about to become an epidemic in Africa. Actually, it's in Africa, but it's also all over. Locust swarms 3 times the size of New York City. You got it? Okay, go ahead and read that. Let's read about the locust that's becoming a problem that they haven't seen in 100 years. Go ahead.
Oh, Khan. The African Development Bank has approved more than R28 million in emergency relief.
Go ahead and go to the bottom. Follow that. Go to the next one because it starts right there.
This locust pest was threatening livelihoods and food security in the region, according to a statement by the APO group issued on behalf of the African Development Bank Group. The statement said desert locusts were considered to be the most destructive migratory pests in the world. Traveling locust swarms were common in Africa, Southern Asia, and the Middle East, but the insect population started getting out of hand in December 2019 when hundreds in December 2019 when
in December 2019 the locust problem has become a serious problem. It got out of hand in 2019. This is before this Passover here. Continue reading.
When hundreds of millions of locusts invaded Kenya, the locust has since spread to 10 countries in Africa, according to the
How many?
UN. 10 countries in Africa.
10 countries in Africa are being affected by this mass swarm of locusts. Continue.
According to the UN, according to a statement published by the UN, unusual climatic conditions had enabled the locusts to reproduce more rapidly.
Have what?
Have enabled the locusts to reproduce more rapidly.
So, for some reason, the locusts have been reproducing more rapidly. You know what? The Lord knows exactly what he's doing. The Lord knows how to make a small problem a large problem. And for the first time, funny, we all know that last year was what? The 50th Passover?
Right.
Last year with the 50th Passover, the Jubilee, that only comes like most of us will never see another 50th Passover. I don't think some of us in our old age will once again see a 50th Passover. You had to be 1 year old to see it at 50 years old. You know what I mean? So a lot of us will never see that 50th Passover again. But what it looks like is that maybe no one will ever see another Passover again. Most High in Christ, that happens, but we'll see, right? But so far, what it's telling us that right after the 50th Passover, the Lord began to bring problems on this earth. If you look at the timeline of some of the earthquakes and the devastation that happened last year was right after the Passover. The earthquake in Haiti, the hurricanes in Puerto Rico, right? America and what's been going on with it. And it's been going on since the beginning of this century. Continue reading.
Okay. The number of locusts could increase, Salakia. And with the arrival of the 2020 rainy season from March to May, the number of locusts could increase 500-fold.
The number of locusts they're calculating is gonna increase by 500-fold. Let me tell you something. When you get out of this whole coronavirus and 150,000 people dying, you've got locusts to worry about that are gonna be 5 times fold of what the problem is right now. Continue reading.
Oh, God. Unless urgent action was taken and control measures were scaled up. According to the AFDB statement, A swarm covering a single square kilometer contained up to 80 million locusts that could consume.
How many?
80 million locusts.
80 million locusts in a square area that can consume what?
That could consume the same amount of food in one day as 35,000 people.
As 35,000 people, the locust will consume that much food in one single day. Imagine that. Now that right there is a pestilence. This whole thing of the coronavirus is going to be minimal compared to what's going to happen to those people. You know why? Because go ahead and read. Did you get that? What is it that I asked for when they asked Jesus about the signs of the end of time? What are the signs of the end of the times? And if you start seeing that, if you really pay attention to what's going on with our climate, with world events and things that are happening, not only this coronavirus, because we all know that the Lord bring this coronavirus to America. That's
Right.
a given. But what else is he bringing on to this world? Read me that.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So they took him privately. One thing they didn't want to do is ask this in front of everybody, because you know what? It seems like today, even us, like people are scared. They don't want to hear you telling anybody, hey, is it the end of the world? Everybody's afraid to say that. People are embarrassed to say it's the end of the world. Like, oh man, you a nutcase, you crazy. You know, it's not the end of the world. Well, in those days, even the apostles had to go to the side and ask, give us a sign. Well, what are the signs of the end of the world? Privately. And they wanted to know, what was it going to be? What were going to be those signs of the end of the world? The end of what world? The end of the world of Esau.
Right.
That's whose world's about to come to an end. Continue reading.
Verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
So we already know about the wars and the rumors of wars, but let me tell you something. There has never been more rumors of wars like that of 2001. 2001 was the Twin Towers. And we have been seeing war in the Middle East since that time escalate over and over and over again. There has been nothing, because let me tell you something, you can hear about wars, but now you know what war you're hearing about? Now you know what the rumor is about? The rumor you're going to hear about is about nuclear war. This ain't going to be no war where they're going to call you to go fight, you know, on the battlefield, and there's going to be a war, hand-to-hand combat, or, you know, bullets flying. No, you know that this war that's a rumor is the rumor of a nuclear war. Russia is going to shoot nuclear missiles. China has got all his, what was that, last year? I believe it was last year that Chinese president told America, in 2017, he told them, I'm going to give America a gift. And he launched a nuclear missile into the ocean and detonated it. That was China. That was the gift that Chinese president gave to America on the 4th of July. That was in 2017. And now this last year, when Donald Trump met with the same Chinese president, he told him, I'm going to give you a gift for December 31st, the gift to America. What was that gift to America? Man, that's up in the air. But one thing is for sure, the rumors of these wars have been escalating since 2001. All we've been doing is going to war. They've destroyed Iraq, Afghanistan. They've gone into Iran. All you hear is about war. The opening of this year was that they killed that military leader, right, in Iraq.
Oh, the general.
The general. Okay. They killed that general, and they were like, "Oh," they told them, "This is a death sentence. America is going to be, put to war for this one." And this has been brewing up since then. You don't hear about it because you know what? If you really look into it, you'll see that that war is still brewing even more and more and more. But they don't put it out there because you know what? They don't present everything the way it should be. But that rumor of war is still up in the air. Continue reading.
Okay. See that ye be not troubled.
And that's the most important part. That you as an Israelite, you shouldn't be troubled. You shouldn't be worried about the coronavirus. You shouldn't be worried about that the locust. You shouldn't be worried about the war. Don't be troubled about that because you know it's the end of their world and the beginning of ours. That's Continue right. reading.
Okay. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences.
So there is your famines and your pestilence. Let me tell you, you're thinking, well, there hasn't been no famines. Let me tell you, that whole thing of the locust, they eat how much? How much did he say he eats? 30 million. What?
They eat enough for like about the equivalent of 35,000 people.
They eat in one day. They eat the equivalent of 35,000 people. Let me tell you something. Whatever is growing in Africa is about to be devoured by these animals. And let me tell you something. That is going to bring what they call what?
Famine.
Famine across Africa. That's going to bring a famine where there's not going to be nothing to eat. There ain't going to be nothing for you to grow. They're going to devour everything, not only in Africa, but they're also saying that it's in the Middle East. They're also saying that it's spreading across Europe. And let me tell you something. The reason why they're not really, well, it is out there, but the reason why it's not being pushed is because you got your own problems out here. You got the coronavirus to deal with. But you know what? There's more coming to America. Continue reading.
Okay. And earthquakes in diverse places.
And earthquakes in diverse places. Let me tell you, if you're in California, right? If you're anywhere in, man, I don't care where you at in America now, but don't worry about the coronavirus. If you think, well, you know what, let me stock up enough food for 2 or 3 months, man, you better be worried about an earthquake in California. Because an earthquake in California is going to devastate this place. And you're not going to have electricity. You're not going to have water. You're not going to have gas. You're not going to be mobile. You're not going to be able to do nothing. So those 3 months of food are going to look like nothing to you. When you ain't got water, when you ain't got nothing, let me tell you, your little bottled water that you got maybe 20, 25 cases, it's going to be useless to you because you can't cook with the same water that you drink.
Right.
So you got to reconsider what you're really putting up to store, because when it comes to an earthquake, it's devastating. And it's devastating in a way that it cuts off all natural resources to you. Water and gas and electricity is that natural resource. And when you try to recover from that, you're going to find yourself in a place where that coronavirus is going to be minimal to you trying to survive. And especially if you have family, you got children, you got a wife, you got grandkids. And imagine you all got to survive in a place that's about to be devastated by earthquake. And let me tell you something. When you look at Puerto Rico, it's a perfect example of what we're talking about. It's been a year, right, for Puerto Rico, and they still haven't recovered. Haiti still hasn't recovered. They still have not been able to recover from what's going on. And you know what? You think, oh, they're okay because you're in the States, but you know how many people die there probably daily because of starvation, because of what is that, poisoning of the water, malaria, things like that, because that's what comes with all this. When it comes to the destruction, earthquakes, hurricanes, man, there's a lot to go with it. We don't consider it because it hasn't happened to us. But you know what? There's perfect examples. What was that? Hurricane Katrina?
Right.
Hurricane Katrina is a perfect example. People were displaced. Like, you know, when you look at California, we have California has the highest rate of homeless in America. And that's because places like New Orleans shipped all the black folks that were homeless, shipped them to California. There was a lawsuit that California passed against Nevada and against, out there where the Hurricane Katrina was, New Orleans, and even New York. They sued them because they were giving these people a couple $100, putting them on a Greyhound bus and sending them to California. San Francisco opened a lawsuit because of the same reason, because California found itself with all these homeless. That's why when you go down to Skid Row, man, there is thousands of people living in the streets in tents. When you go down on the riverbank of the LA River, there's tent cities all across the LA River where people live. When you go out to the San Fernando Valley under the bridges where, the bridges, they got tent cities all over the place. You can come out here and you'll see, what are those RVs where people live in these RVs. People live in their cars. You have not seen the destructive nature of what these people go through in California. We drive by it every day and we ignore it. We see it, but to us, it's like it's become natural to us. But sometimes, like when you're like me and you pay attention, you realize these people are living below poverty. These people are living in the streets of America.
These are the people that fought America's wars.
These are the people that fought America's wars. Absolutely. And let me tell you something. They pushed all these people out of New Orleans and they displaced them. They didn't say, let me give you money for your house or let me rebuild your house, because it was all black folks out there. They didn't offer to put them back there, rebuild their homes. They didn't. What they did is they took that property from them. And now if you go to New Orleans in that sector, it's beautiful homes. Now you got white people living in those areas. Now New Orleans has changed completely for the better of the white man, but not for black people. Black people were displaced. But they gave them a check, put them in a hotel room, and told them, when you get out, we're going to give you money for your house. They gave them nothing for their homes, because the $10,000 that they gave you, the $15,000 that they gave you could not get you a house again, could not put you in a home, especially when you got to move out of New Orleans, go to California, and try getting a job out here. Try getting a job somewhere else. Try getting a job while you're black. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened to our people in New Orleans. That's why we have so many homeless. People looking at the homeless like, oh, because they're lazy, because they're drug addicts, because they don't want to work. No, try because they lost their home that they had. Man, some of those homes were passed on from generations and they lost those homes. You know what? Some of those homes, I'm going to tell you something. The mortgage on them were $500, $600, $300 mortgages. These people were paying $300 a month, $500 a month, up to $600 a month to live in these homes. Something that's affordable. All of a sudden, it became a nightmare to all these people. And why? Because America did that to them. America made sure to do that to Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. The Native American Indian lives on reservations. The black man lives in tents on the streets of LA. And the Hispanic man is starting to live in the detention centers across America. And that's why the Lord has to burn this place to the ground. That's why we're seeing the beginning of what the Lord said. That may be the last Passover you will ever see, because after this, I will set you free. What did Moses ask for? Set my people free. What have we've been asking for? Man, let me tell you something. We walked for what? For freedom. We marched for what? Equal rights. We marched for what? Equality. We marched to be treated like humans. We marched for human rights. Let me tell you who marched for that. Black and Hispanics and Native American Indians marched for that. We're the ones talking about, stop the killing of black people. Stop the incarceration of black and Hispanics, because we're the ones who are being incarcerated in large numbers, not the white man. We're the ones dying in large numbers on the streets of America, not the white man. Eric Gardner died. Sandra Bland died. Trayvon Martin died. The riot in LA for Rodney King, that was the problem right there. Not white America. White America is killing themselves today because they can't stand having the coronavirus. Now all of a sudden suicide rates went up. Now all of a sudden the white man's killing his wife and his kids because he's afraid he caught the coronavirus. And now what's his way out? Killing his own family. Let me tell you something. Blacks have been living in the streets of America, in the tents, Native Americans on the reservations, my people in the detention centers, and none of us had thought about committing suicide.
Right. Like I said, there was a story that I seen that a white man, he didn't qualify for that check that they're giving out.
Done.
So he set his wife on fire.
Oh man,
nice.
It's like what you're saying.
He set his wife on fire because he didn't qualify.
Yeah, he tried
to. Oh, he tried to because he didn't qualify for the check. What is that? What is that called?
The coronavirus relief check.
Oh, the relief check. That's what it is. The relief check. White man is killing his family because he's afraid he got the coronavirus. The white man's killing his family because he can't see himself sick in a bed. But yet he can see black people on the streets of America dying, and to him, it's normal. He can see the Native American Indian as drunks and drug addicts, and to him, it's normal. He can see my people being separated at the borders from their families, and to him, it's normal. We deserve to live like that.
If I may, just to bring out, last night I was watching CNN, and they were talking about the black community and the coronavirus, and that a lot of Israelites are dying because they can't even afford to go to the hospital, get the health care that they need to survive the virus itself.
God, absolutely. We're struggling to survive this thing, and they get all the benefits. Tawala, absolutely. He says, and it's the heathens that end up reaping the benefits of the movements with grants. Always, like when you get injured in an accident, they'll take months, years to clear you and give you a check from the insurance company. Them, they get it right away. They're cleared quickly. They take care of their own. That's why we need to take care of our own. That's why we need to look after our people, because they're not looking after your people. They've marched with us side by side, because we don't march with them. They march with us. They've been marching with us. When the civil rights movement, they didn't start the civil rights movement. Black people started that civil rights movement. They're the ones who decided to come and march alongside of us. When the Chicano movement, when they were marching for Chicano rights, they went and started marching with us too. When the what was that? The Ferguson riots, they started showing up there to support the Ferguson people and the blacks also there. You know what I mean? But we don't join with them. They join with us. But our problem is that we want to be equal to them. We're asking for equal rights. We're asking to be equal with these people, when we should know already that we are above every nation of this earth.
Right.
We should understand that we don't need to be equal with these people. Cons. We don't need to be equal with these people, because they'll never be equal to us. The Lord loves us above every nation in this world.
Right.
He don't love them.
Right.
You got it?
Come on.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Unto who?
The Lord thy God.
Man, we're a separate people unto the Lord. The Lord doesn't see us as he sees everybody else. Go ahead.
Come on. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto himself, like we're his people. He pulled us away from everybody. We're the favorite children of his. Like, you got a favorite kid, you got a favorite food, you got a favorite show, you got some favorite music. We're the favorites that the Lord has chosen. Right. Go ahead.
Come on. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Man, above everybody on this face of the earth. Every time you hold hands with the white man and march with him, you're trying to be equal to the one that the Lord says is not better than you.
Right.
You're trying to be equal to the one that the Lord thinks is like spittle.
Right.
You're trying to be equal to the one the Lord thinks is going to be what taken off the face of this earth, Esau.
Right.
The Lord's going to destroy these people and they will never be again. And yet you're trying to be equal to these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to make yourself into nothing. You're teaching yourself to be a nobody. I don't care. You a basketball player. You got money. You got a car. I don't care what you got. If you love these people, you are a nobody.
Right.
Right. And all that you got is meaningless because you're less than that. And let me tell you something. These people hate you. They kill you and they find themselves not guilty. Give me that one. They'll kill you. They'll murder you. And to them, it's all the same. To them, you're just another spick, another nigger, another goddamn savage to them. And that's why we need to understand what we need to do is separate. We need to separate and we need to start bringing our people up. We need to see our people. And you know what? It's sad, but it's true. Our brothers and sisters that are in the world and they still with that, we need to separate from them too. They need to follow you, brother. They need to see you in this truth. They need to look at you and want to do what you do, not you do what they do. Let me tell you something. Let them take a picture with you. You don't take a picture with them. Let them and ask you a question. You ain't got nothing to answer to them. You used to answer to them. That's your past. That's who you used to be. Now it's time to separate yourself. Now it's time to come clean and separate yourself completely from who you used to be. And the only way to do that is to start following the men of the Lord. Start hanging out with those that are like-minded to you. Those that do as you do. And those that will be as you are. Everybody else is become meaningless. Go ahead, brother.
Come on. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessor slay him?
Whose possessor slay him, man. When Moses saw what the Egyptian was doing to his people, that was the possessor who was slaying his people.
Right.
That's who that was. Moses witnessed his possessor, a police officer, murder one of his brothers, slay his brother. We're seeing our possessor, what's his name? Darren Wilson, right? We're seeing Darren Wilson kill Michael Brown. And go on.
And hold themselves not guilty.
And they hold themselves not guilty. Let me tell you something. Darren Wilson went free. He was found not guilty. The Rodney King trials, they were set free. They were found not guilty. Trayvon Martin, what was his name?
Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman was found not guilty.
Right.
He was set free. Eric Gardner, what was, I can't remember that guy's the cop's name, but for sure, I know he was set free. That killed him, and they were set. No, but there was just one white boy who choked him out. There was that one white boy who choked him to death, and he was set free. Sandra Bland was found in the cell dead. And you know what? No one was found guilty. And their possessors are found not guilty.
Right.
In Egypt, in Moses' time, if the Egyptian killed an Israelite, he was found not guilty. And that's why the Lord had to come and set his people free. That's why the Lord gave that order, let my people go. Because you know what? They were murdering his people in the land of Egypt. And today we live where? What did it say in Deuteronomy? Brought to Egypt again in ships, right? 2068. Yeah, Khan. And the way they were killing them in Egypt back then, the way they were killing Black Hispanics and Native American Indians back then in Egypt is the same thing that's been happening in America for over 500 years. How long were they in Egypt?
400 years.
400 years in Egypt. You got it? Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
And the Lord shall bring us into Egypt again in ships. That means we're in Egypt again. Here we are once again in that same place we were when we disobeyed the Lord. And you know what? We've disobeyed the Lord again. And now we're in this captivity all over again. And now they're killing us and murdering us just the way they did back then.
Right.
And you know what? Just like back then, the Lord has said, get ready because I'm about to set you free all over again.
Right.
And I'm going to bring on Egypt plagues and earthquakes and famine and pestilence. And I'm going to destroy this place with fire. So just like back then, the Lord is warning us one more time. And he pulled up Moses. Each one of us is the spirit of Moses. Each one of the brothers in the ISUPK carries that spirit. Now as a whole, we are Moses. And we're calling our brothers, man, wake up and get out of there, man. Time to separate from this place. That's what Moses said. Moses said, let my people go. Separate, man, separate from Egypt. The problem is that a lot of Israelites didn't want to let go of Egypt. Because even though they were being treated the way they were treated, just the way in America, they love being in America.
Right.
You love being called a nigger. You love being discriminated on. You love going and getting your nails done and being called a nigger and then being choked there and then going back the next day to get your nails done one more time. You love it. You love going to the store, to McDonald's, and them not wanting to serve you because you're black. Or you love going to Starbucks and getting a cup and they're going to put the name, what they put, wetback on that cup in California? But Beaner. They put Beaner. They got the cup. The Mexican guy went in, hey, can I get a cup of coffee? And he said, yeah, sure. What's your name? He gave him the name and instead he put Beaner on it. And we love going to get that name put on our coffee cups. We want to go be called a beaner, a greaser, a wetback, because we love America, because we love being discriminated on. A lot of the Native American Indian brothers, they love saying, well, I'm part of the reservations and I got a casino, even though they ain't getting a goddamn dime about it.
Right.
But they love being that. We love our oppressor. We love, we love saying, I got a high school diploma, I got a college education, I got a degree, I'm this, I'm that. We love that. Go ahead, Oscar Ward. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help.
Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, man. Woe to all those brothers who continually, man, go back to the same old place they were. Because I'm a supervisor at my job, I'm okay in America. Because I got a management position, I'm okay in America. Because my credit is good now, I don't need anything else. I'm good in America. Continue.
And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
That's right, because they don't look at the ones in the holy ones in Israel. Well, that's we're the separate ones from all this. We've chosen to move away from all that. We're the ones that are going to take charge and bring our people to this truth. But those, man, they love that place.
Right.
They love serving the army. They love coming back and go, right? Because they served in the army.
Right.
Because now they got their stripes. Because now they're, now they're living that life. Go ahead.
Just if I could touch on what you're saying about the serving the army and whatnot. The fact you got supported veterans.
Oh, Khan, absolutely. You love serving in the white man's army. You so proud to serve in the white man's army.
Right.
You were so proud that you served, that you're a Marine. What do they say? Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Right.
You got out of the goddamn Marines, and even at your job, you act like a goddamn Marine. At your house, you act like a goddamn Marine. But you forgot that when your uncle, your father, your grandfather came back from World War II, they stripped him naked, beat his ass, and threw him in the middle of the street, even though he served in the army.
Right.
Because they hated him because he was brown. You forgot that your uncle, your grandpa, your dad, your aunt served in Vietnam, and when she came back, she was still walking the streets of East LA picketing for equal rights in the social movement of the Chicano movement, because you were being treated like an animal, even though you died in their war, even though your people went over there and killed for this country. you still came back to fight for equal rights in America. But you were a proud Marine, but you forgot that they hated you. And then you got brothers that went and served in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and now they're living at the borders of San Diego and Tijuana because they've been deported, and now they got encampments out there.
Right.
Because they were illegal, and even though they were, you're a proud Army vet. You all that you can be, but you know what you became? You didn't become shit to your people. Right. All you became was another sellout, who just because you did good, your people didn't matter. Right. You know the reason why Mexicans are educated today, the reason why you went to school, man, the reason why you got a goddamn job, the reason why you even have credit is because a real Mexican warrior went out and picketed in East LA and walked on the streets for civil rights movements. The reason you're a black man with an education who went to college, who got a degree, is because before you, another black man went and walked on the streets and was beaten and killed and died for your equal rights. Not the man who went and fought in the goddamn army or the Marines in Vietnam or Korea. They didn't set you free, so to say. But the one who did was the brother who stayed behind and fought for the civil rights, for you could be equal, so to say. But you know what? We ain't here to fight for equality. We ain't here to fight for no social movement. We're here to wake you up and get you out of this place and have you join in the ISUPK and wake up your people that you might be more than what is that? Equal rights? Be saved from this place. Right. That's what you're going to be, saved. We're going to help you that you don't get the coronavirus. We're going to help you that your mom don't get the coronavirus. We're going to help you that you don't get the pestilence coming with a locust or the earthquakes or the fires. The Lord's going to make sure you're okay. But first, you're going to learn to serve him. First, you're going to learn to come to the ISUPK and leave that old man behind. The former things, leave them behind. Right. Because let me tell you something, man. The homies in the pen are not going to save you. They're not going to look after you. They're not going to make sure that you don't get caught up. The Lord is. The Lord is going to set you free. The Lord is going to get you right. And give me that 1 John, the one of I did not choose you, you chose me, because I'm going to show you how the reason why your family's going to be safe, the reason why your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, the reason why the Lord's going to have mercy on them is because you're going to serve the Lord. Is because the first thing he's going to do, he's going to call on you to do this work. And then he's going to make sure that he looks after you. Go ahead and read that.
Come on. This is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 16. Ye have not chosen me.
And remember, man, you can never choose the Lord. You can't make that decision for him. Go ahead.
Come on. But I have chosen you.
So the Lord has chosen you, man. The Lord has chosen me, Zarawai, Amawan, all the brothers in the ISUPK, man. Lahab, Kasharwan, Ashkawar, Amataza, man, all of us in the UPK. The Lord has chosen us. Go ahead.
Come on. And ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit.
So he's ordained us. We got a job to do now. Right. You didn't come in here for nothing. You didn't come in here to sit down and, not put in work. You didn't come here to say, well, I can't go to class today. You didn't come here to say, well, I can't go out on the streets. You didn't come here to say, well, I don't know if I can really do that. You came here to do that work. Read.
Right. Come on. And that your fruit shall remain.
And that our fruit shall remain. All these brothers here with me, it's the work that we've been putting in, and they're still here with us. I'm here because the brother put in work, and I'm still here today. I'm that fruit that the Lord has blessed to stay here and do this job. Continue reading.
Okay. That whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father.
That what?
That whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you.
So let me tell you something. Whatever we ask for the Father in the Lord in Christ's name, he's going to give it to us. I'm going to tell you something. I know that now that you're in the ISUPK, I know you ain't going to ask for that new car. I know that now that you're in the ISUPK, you ain't going to ask for that new watch. Right. I know that now you in the ISUPK, you ain't going to ask for better weed. You ain't going to ask for a better girl. You're not going to ask for a better job. That's not what you're going to ask for. Now that you're in the ISUPK, you begin to understand after reading that the most important thing is to let go of selfishness. Let go of all that from the world. Right. Let go of the past. Let go of all that that you used to look forward to. And now start looking at what's really important. I'll tell you what you're going to ask for. You're going to ask for that your mom and your dad and your brothers and your sisters and all your brothers and sisters in the ISUPK and even your homies don't catch this coronavirus. Right. That's what you're going to ask for. You're going to ask for the Lord for the health and well-being of all of us. You're going to ask for the Lord to set those kids free that are being held up in the detention centers, who are dying in those detention centers. You're going to ask the Lord to set those brothers free that are being taken by the police department. You're going to ask the Lord to help our Native American Indian brothers that they may get up. You're going to ask the Lord to wake your people up, because that's the most important part. Because when you wake your people up, you fulfill even them getting help. You're going to ask the Lord for what's really needed. And that is for mercy for your people, mercy for your family, mercy for your aunt, mercy for your mom, mercy for your brother, because you don't want them to get sick from this coronavirus, because you don't want them to go through any of that that's about to be brought onto America. You don't want them to go through that, man. You don't want them to be part of this, because there's a precept, they'll be looking for death and they won't find it. Let me tell you something. Man's going to be wishing the way the white man is today, seeking death. Isn't that what's happening? Aren't these white people seeking death because they're afraid they got the coronavirus? This is what it's going to be like for everybody. Everybody's going to wish to die, because what the Lord is about to bring on this earth is like nothing. It says nothing has ever been seen before or will be. Isn't that what it says? It's like it's never been or never will be. It's so horrifying what we're about to see come on this earth that you're going to wish that you were dead. That's what the Lord is talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out here and we're going to wish that the Lord have mercy on our families. We're going to wish that the Lord have mercy on all the brothers, all of us waking up to this truth. We're going to pray that the Lord have mercy on us and on our families. And as long as we're doing this work, as long as we out here waking up Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, I guarantee you the Lord, like he promised, he's going to listen and give us what it is that we need. Because that's something that he said he's going to do, right? Read that precept one more time for me.
From the top, sir?
From the top.
Okay. The book of John, chapter 15, verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you.
That whatever we ask the Father in his name, he's going to give us. And that's what we're going to do. Right. We're going to ask for the Lord to have mercy on our families, have mercy on us, because this captivity is about to come to its end. And this might be the last Passover we ever seen. Lord, be that truth. Did you find it? That's what? Oh, it's all good. And that the Lord may do that the Lord may end this place, and that the 50th Passover might have been the last Passover we'd ever seen. Because if that's true, then that means the Lord is on his way. And with this that's happening with America today, with this coronavirus, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is what's happening. The Lord bring all this before the Passover in the book of Exodus. First, all these things started to happen. And then the Lord said, you know what? do this Passover and do it quick, because I'm about to set you free. So make sure that this Passover, you make, what was that? Unleavened bread, right? The reason for the unleavened bread, because it took too long to make leaven. So the Lord was like, don't even leaven your bread. Eat tortillas.
Right.
Something like that. Because it's going to take you too long and you need to leave like right now. Make sure that if your neighbor doesn't have a lamb, make sure you invite him over to eat with you, that you might share that lamb. You know what I mean? Because I got to get you out. And like today, we're not able to bring our brothers to our houses. Let me tell you something. How are you going to celebrate the Passover without your brother?
Right.
How are you going to sit there when your brother doesn't have something to eat? When your brother doesn't have lamb? When your brother has very little food to be able to make it past these next couple of weeks or months? Who knows what it is? Because these are changing times. Not by the week, but by the day, they're changing everything.
Right.
How are you going to celebrate the Passover? That sounds selfish to me. That sounds like I couldn't do it. I got brothers who can't celebrate. I got brothers who don't have that capacity, don't have that money, don't have none of that. There's brothers who live with families that are not Israelites. How am I going to celebrate when my brother can't celebrate? Right. My brother can't celebrate, so then neither will I. My brother's got to live in poverty, so will I. My brother doesn't have it, so let me give it to my brother that he might share with me. Because that's the brotherhood right there. Did you get that? Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 6. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it.
In those days, men shall seek death and not find it. How many of these white folks today are committing suicide? Well, really trying to commit suicide because they cannot stand what's happening right now with the coronavirus. Continue.
And shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
And death shall flee from them. You're going to look to die, and you're not going to be able to die. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. That's what the brotherhood is. That we got to wake up our people so they don't go through that right there. So that they'll be safe, that they'll be able to avoid that death right there. Because that death right there is one that you don't want to face. Man, the white man's killing them right now. I think, what was it that they said? 300% on the suicide hotlines. Isn't that what it said? The calls for suicide hotlines has raised 300% of people thinking about, I need to commit suicide because I can't stand being incarcerated, in my house, quarantine, and I can't stand the thought of getting the coronavirus. Man, Hispanics and blacks have been quarantined in the prison system for years, for 400 years. We've been living on a, what is that, 5x5 room? 5x5 room with no windows, giving you 20 years for selling dope, for trying to, what did Biggie say? We're trying to feed my family, right? Because I was just trying to feed my family. Isn't that what he said? Right? For trying to feed his family, you're going to do 20 years, 50 years for trying to feed your family because the white man couldn't give you a job because he was trying to make you work at McDonald's and rent was your whole month of paycheck didn't pay the goddamn rent. And you're over here wondering, what the hell am I going to do? And so what you decide to do? Sell drugs. And I'm downstairs trying to feed my family. So says Biggie, And what do they see you as? A drug dealer. What do they see themselves as? Businessmen. That's what they see themselves as, businessmen. But you're a drug dealer. That's the difference in America. If you're black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, you're a thug. But if you're white, then you're a businessman. They glorify in the movies, right? They glorify the white man as a gangster.
Right.
Oh, you're a gangster, Benny Siegel, right? Benny Siegel, the Godfather. Oh, Bugsy Siegel, right? Bugsy Siegel, the Godfather. All these. Oh man, they're gangsters, mafiosos. It's okay. You're Italian mafia. Oh, you're looked at as even the Catholic Church would go and kiss their hand, right? Even the Catholic Church saw these mafiosos. Oh man, they're gangsters. But blacks and Hispanics, you're doing the same thing they are, but you a thug. That's what you are. You a thug. You a drug dealer. You're a cartel. You know, isn't that what they call the Mexicans? The Mexican cartel. What did Donald Trump say this week? What did he say? Mexican violence.
Mexican violence.
And what did the guy ask him?
Domestic violence.
Oh, the guy. What did they ask Donald Trump? A news reporter asked him, "What do you have to say about domestic violence?" What he heard was Mexican violence.
Right.
So he's like, "What'd you say? Mexican violence?" Because that's the way they see Mexicans, violent. We're violent. We're dangerous. We're murderers. We're killers. But who are the real murderers? Who are the real killers?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who are the real ones that are destroying? You know, after they destroyed us, after they laid us to waste, they put us in poverty. They gave us all these things, gave us all the nicknames in the world. You know, criminalized us, made us savages. But they're good people.
Right.
They're heroes in the movies. They save everybody. But
they believe they're the most docile and peaceful
right.
people on this planet.
Come on, they're the more docile and peaceful people. They're nothing. We are nothing compared to them. They're saving the world. They got capes, tights. You know what I'm saying? They're flying through the air. They save the earth. All the movies you watch, they're saving the planet from a meteor.
Right.
You know, from the earth core blowing up. You know, from the zombies. They found everything. They save everything, but they don't save Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indians. You know, if you see all the zombie movies, it's all white people running away from the zombies. You know, you see the destruction movies, it's all white people running from destruction. All these movies you see, it's always white people that are dying in these movies. They got that right. They know the ending of what's about to happen to them. In those movies, you don't see no cholos in there, right? Like, where do you see cholos in zombie movies? We're not running in there, or
right.
The hood. You know, you don't see them. You know what I'm saying? We're not in those movies because we're not part of the destruction of America, and they know it.
It's funny you say that, sir. Like, if I could bring out a show, right? It's called King Peele, the comedy show.
Okay.
They made a skit where it was a zombie apocalypse, and the zombies were only attacking white people because the zombies were racist.
God.
So the black dude is walking through the crowd of zombies, and the zombies aren't trying to eat them, but they're eating white people. He walks up to a car. The zombies lock the doors, and the windows are broken. And they're like, what the hell? And they walk around the corner, and they see black brothers having a barbecue. Ain't this awesome? They're not the zombies are racist.
Damn, what movie is that?
The Key and Peele. They have like a show.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like you're saying, like in the movies, it's all white people getting attacked.
Right, right. And you know what? That's the way it's gonna be. You know, that's the way it's gonna be. That eventually we'll see that all the destruction, all that's coming, is gonna be on Esau. But the reality is, you know, a lot of our people are so stuck to them that, you know, that there's always that one or two or three or four that are willing to sell out, you know, and leave their people behind. You know, you see all these goddamn Mexicans with the vote for Trump signs. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. How are you going to vote for Trump?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How are you going to vote for a president who hates you, a racist president who, you know what Trump was good for? He revived hatred of Black and Hispanics in America. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you see the whole thing about the sisters, the Native American Indian sisters that are disappearing across America. You know what I mean? Have you seen that? It's how could I say it? It's a phenomenon. It's something that's happening across America where you're seeing Native American Indian sisters just being just disappearing, you know, and you see it all the time, but no one says nothing about it. You know what I mean? It's not something that's in the news. It's not something they're promoting because it's something they don't want to deal with. And you know why? Because they hate Native American Indian sisters, man. They hate the Native American Indian, and that's why they do that to them. Because if they had any compassion for them, they would do something about at least promoting it on the networks, on the TV or something, about the disappearing of Native American Indians, Native American Indian sisters. You know what I'm saying? They would go into in depth on the news channels about Native American Indians, you know, disappearing in broad daylight in America. But you know what? They don't. The reason they don't is because they have no interest in our people. They only care about their own. You know, they don't care about what happens. You got the DAPL activists who have to go out there and raise awareness, right, on what's happening, whether it be their land or whether it be the Native American Indian women disappearing, because it's racism against them too. You know what I mean? They got the whole thing of missing but not forgotten. You know, because these indigenous people, women, they're coming up missing, man. They're saying they're being stolen, they're being taken, and they are. That's exactly what's happening to them. Sioux sisters, you know, sisters from all across the nations of the Native American Indian nation, they're being taken, they're being murdered, and they're being raped. And since they know no one cares about the Native American Indians, they're like making it in there. It's like in the open now. It's like they're doing it without any kind of caution at all, you know. And that's why it's important that we wake up and that we help in raising awareness and bringing these people into this truth, that we might all participate in doing this job. Man, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. Every week we come on the show, the Inconvenient Truth, and we bring out that heavy truth, man, that you don't hear anywhere. No one talks about that. One news thing comes up and they forget about one thing and go on to the other. Let me tell you something. Here in the ISUPK, we're not going to forget about Michael Brown. We're not going to forget about Rodney King. We're not going to forget about Trayvon Martin or Sandra Bland or Eric Gardner or the Hispanic brothers that are being killed or the Hispanic kids that are being held in the detention centers or the Native American Indian sisters that are being raped and murdered across America. We're going to continually speak about it every week, that everybody knows that, you know what, that you tell your friend, hey man, log on to that channel, because that's what they're going to speak about. That's what we're going to hear it. And we're going to bring all that news that's coming out right now. Not the stuff that corporate America is talking about, but the stuff that corporate America refuses to talk about. And that is about the salvation of Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. Yeah. And the ISUPK under Commanding General Johanna, Most High in Christ, that's what we've been called out to do. We've been called out to do this work. And I urge all my brothers and sisters, man, we will never forget about our people. That's damn right. Batarawana. That's right. We're never going to forget our people. We're not going to forget about the Black brothers and sisters that are being killed. We're not going to forget about the Hispanics or Native American Indian brothers and sisters. And you know what? How we're going to do it? We all got a job to do. One is by sharing these videos. That's the least you can do. Push a share and push it on, that someone else can hear what we're talking about. And not because I'm on the show, but because all across the nation, ISUPK, we got shows all the time. The law shows. What are the shows we got? The breakdowns, right? Boot Up or Shut Up, Cross the Line Radio, Commanding General Johanna show on Monday, General Hazayan show, and so on and so forth. There's just all the shows that you can log on to and you know, and listen and share, that we might spread this truth even more. In Arizona, we got the shows in Arizona, Mataza and the brothers there. We got to help to push these shows out. Let me tell you something. We got a show that we're about to do. Y'all can all help us with this show too. It's going to be strictly in Spanish. It's ISUPK en Español. We're going to start posting up segments on there in Spanish to help bring back some of our brothers that don't speak English. And we're going to help to wake these brothers up with Spanish shows. We got a couple of shows we're about to post up. Stay tuned. Log on to it. What is it? ISUPK en Español? ISUPK en Español. I'll make sure to post it up right now. Make sure you log on to that. You know, share that show. We're going to help wake up our brothers too, because they are Israel too. Esos son nuestra gente también, and we need to help them out too. Our Puerto Rican brothers, our Central American brothers, our brothers in El Salvador, in Guatemala, in Honduras, that you know, that don't understand the programming out here, but we're going to help to change that. We're going to bring those shows forward. You know, Captain Asha Porayam has a show every Wednesday right before mine, about 4 o'clock. You can tune into his and help pass his show on too, that we can help the Hispanic brothers wake up to this truth. Because let me tell you something. The best thing we can do is wake up Latin America, that it join with our Judite brothers in here, and together, man, we're going to become a strong force that's going to be hard to deal with. Between blacks and Hispanics, man, we will get up, man, and we will become a power in America with the word of the Lord. Man, I want to thank everybody for watching. The water to all the brothers and sisters of the ISUPK. The water to all the brothers who are not in the UPK, but continually watch of my show. Who's that? Yaika, Ahmed, man. The water brother for watching all the time. You know, we're here every Wednesday, the ISUPK, Inconvenient Truth. We're going to make sure to post more. Remember, log on to ISUPK YouTube, and it's Kazakh Yad YouTube. Subscribe to my channel just in case something goes wrong here. You can always continue watching on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to share this show, post it up, share it out, and don't forget we got that new show, ISUPK en Español, is going to be our next monster we're going to put out. Archaeological truth right there. You want to tune in. You're going to have a problem with the Spanish, but you want to tune in because we're going to put, I'm going to go heavy on Hispanic archaeology, and I'm going to bring out stuff you ain't seen before. Like, I'm going to bring out some archaeological evidence that we are the tribe of Issachar, is the tribes that of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. And some of this stuff that I got, some of this archaeological evidence that I've been piecing together has never been seen before. I'm not bringing out what everybody else brings out. This is going to be something amazing. You're going to see it, and you guys are going to want to follow through. I try to do it both English and Spanish, but it's strictly for the Hispanic people. But join in. Tune in next week, ISUPK, Inconvenient Truth, right here, about 8 o'clock. We're going to see you here. Till then, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatah, the water, everybody for watching. Till next week, stay safe. Stay in this truth. Most High in Christ. Shalom, Israel.